Well, hey, friends, and those of you that are here live, thank you for jumping on. I know it's last minute for some of you. Some of you, we've had these conversations and it's not new. And for those of you that get to watch the recording, this is a very special and sensitive moment for me. This is a big turning point, fork in the road for my life. And I'm coming from it with a lot of gratitude and optimism because I know whatever happens is going to be good. I'm not sure which because there's two very distinct paths. So we're going to talk about that today. I'm kind of giving it up to spirit. Um, and basically, what we're going to do is I'm going to take a few minutes to go through a little bit of the story, like the history, the memories we've had, and where we are now. And I'm going to give you an update of what the current situation and those two options. Option one is basically I'm going to find the next steward of this property. They're going to carry the torch and they're going to be the next caretaker of this beautiful land. But I've also been in conversations for over a year with a handful of really amazing people that have the same vision. And they want to do something like this. And we've been talking about how we could collaborate and partner. So within the next few months, the property is listed. So it's on the market. So the next few months, I'm going to be talking to the investors and fielding fielding offers. We've already had a couple of showings. So this is really just a chance for me to let my community know because if I do sell, I would love to sell to somebody who has the same heart. I would love to find somebody who can carry the vision. John is a great example of that. He's got something like this that's been on his mind for many, many years. And someone like him could be the perfect partner or the perfect torchbearer. So let me just go right into the fun part, which it might be a little emotional. I mean, Troy and I were talking about the other day. We got a bit clumped, just kind of thinking about all the times that we've had and all the good stuff. But let's celebrate. Let's do a little walk down memory lane. And this is me at the beginning of my journey when I first got Sierra Sanctuary 10 years ago. It's almost exactly 10 years. It was March 15th, it was April 15th, 2016. So we're going to kind of go through the history of the people, the land, the fires, all the stuff. And those of you that have been here, I think everyone except for maybe Ranch has not been up to this property. You know it's magical. When people walk on here, it's healing. That's why we call it the sanctuary because a lot of healing takes place when people come up to this land. The mornings, the evenings, the middle of the day, it's amazing. And we're only 20 minutes from the lake, which is, of course, another sacred, beautiful place to go. So the location of this property, just being in the mountains, surrounded by if you have forests and animals, and we've got bears, we've got deer, we've got bobcats, we've got a lot of birds. So it's really wonderful to be out here amongst nature. And pretty much anyone who's been on this property feels it, like right when they get here. But I bought this property really to build community. And so one of the first things I did is I gathered my bros, my moon warriors, and we got together and we started doing our own work. And part of the reason was is that we wanted to heal ourselves since we'd go sweat, we'd do ceremony, we'd have indigenous teachers, we'd have local teachers. There's Jose in the picture, Delac, Brian, Bruce, all of our Native American Paiute friends. Teaching us those traditions and doing the work, but also preparing the land while we're getting ready, we're getting the land ready, we're building the outhouses, we're getting the tents ready, we're getting the grounds ready, we're preparing it for the women's festival. Because whenever we would do these, we would have the men's retreat first, and then we'd have the sovereign women's festival afterwards, and then we do the co-ed. So this is a great picture of one of the ceremonies we had. Our men's group, we had a Wachuma ceremony. We had different elders come and teach us and here's some of those elders. There's Del Bigtree, who's Native American. He's also a very well-known TV personality. Delac, who's local Washoe. Jose, who's our Mayan timekeeper. And Bruce and his buddy Brian, who are local Paiute guys who teach us all. And always share their wisdom, their songs, their medicines. And we just had so much great stuff. And the land, once we get it ready, the land does the work. Like you just bring these beautiful goddesses together. And I want to take a special moment to, comment on Marina and her leadership with her and Emily, Troy's fiance, and Renee got together and built this festival over a series of years. It got bigger and bigger from 75 to 150 to like 180. These women were just doing some amazing beautiful stuff in the forest. They'd have a kids camp and they would dance and celebrate. And then usually in July, we would have the By the People gathering. And this, I got to call out a special couple of people. We have Ross and Ty and Shelby and some of the core people that really helped us build this. And we put together a volunteer group of people that came up here and we just created this amazing space. Music, big shade structures, squish, dance floor, workshops during the day, special ceremonies, night, night dancing at night, live music, DJs. It was amazing. And we had this one spot called the Honey Pot, which is our little dome gathering spot. And then we'd have all these special little workshops there, special tea lounge, nighttime. It was amazing. So I want to thank everyone. We have some serious talent in this community. I mean, you think about it, Reno, ecstatic dance and all the performers that we have. We've had dancing, we've had aerialist. It was amazing. And now we're going to go into like the stage of the challenges. I skipped over one challenge. One of the challenges I didn't have a lot of pictures for was the flood when we had to rebuild the roof and we had that big snowmageddon in 2023. We had a big snowmageddon. And then, a year later, we've got the Davis Creek fire. And what happened was that I was out of town. Unfortunately, I was down at a business meeting and I got this text alert saying that we've got to evacuate. So I get a call from Marina. She's evacuating. She's like, I don't know, should I do it? Like, yeah, let's get out of there. So her and Jazzy evacuate. I turn around, start heading home. I'm driving home from San Diego. It's a day and a half trip because I can't drive for more than 5 or 6 hours or else my back will go out. But I'm watching it on these maps and I'm watching the fire get closer and closer. My house, you can't tell, but I don't have a pointer here, but my house is where this dot here is on the windy road. That windy road is Mount Rose Highway. And I'm watching the fire and then they're bringing in the air patrol. The winds are crazy. And then I get this text from Sarah, one of my good friends. She lives down the hill. She goes, Greg, I think this is your cabin. And I'm like, no, that can't be. But sure enough, it is. So this is a view of from Mount Rose Highway. You can see the fire coming up over the hill. My cabin is right down here. And the firefighters went in and built a back burn so they could protect, so the fire would go around the cabin. Check this out. I'm up there. Going back to the old Mount Earth. So they're burning right behind my cabin. This is my backyard. Behind my cabin, there's my garage. And they went in there and they did the burn so that there would be no fuel. So when the fire got there, they could fight it. The other thing they did is they dropped their pump into my creek and they kept filling up so that they could fill up I got people. So what they did was they didn't have to leave the property. They could just take the truck, fill it up, and then keep fighting. So they made the last stand at my property. Not only did the cabin survive, but they did a back burn right from the creek. So the fire didn't go past my property. It stopped at the road and it stopped at the creek. And uphill from me is Sky Ridge and Sky Tavern and all these other communities. The Renner compound would have been burnt. So they really made this last stand. So thank God they were able to fight the fire, protect the cabin, and protect the people above me. So after that, we started our cleanup. We started clearing the land. Thank God I have the Bobcat, and we had a bunch of friends come up, and we lost a lot of stuff. We lost a lot of brand new equipment. We lost the sweat lodge. We lost the festival space. Most of that got burnt, but the community really turned up as they always do, and they came up and really helped me out. And we were able to save what we could and be prepared. And then we started working on cleaning up the land. There's some trees that you got to remove because they're hazardous. They might fall. There are certain trees that are close to the house. There's certain trees that we started chopping down. So me and Evan and Troy and some of my volunteer friends would just come up. I got a lot of friends that know how to use a saw. Thank God this chainsaws, people know how to work out here. So we got a lot of work done. And then I also hired a crew. And Troy, who you're going to hear from in a second, is building a house. And so he had this great idea of harvesting the fir from my property, sending it to his buddy who has a mill, and then milling it into wood that he gets to build his and his fiance's house with. So I'm super excited about that. And we've got a bunch of wood actually too. So if we end up doing the build, we have a ton of wood to be able to harvest and use for the cabins and for the development. And I look back on this property and I've had so many great memories. I just had my mom and her boyfriend up here a couple weeks ago, and it's so special to host people up here, and I never get tired of it. And the labyrinth survived, so there's still lots of good prayers to be done up here. There's actually a ceremony this weekend. If you're interested, hit me up. And then we're rebuilding the sweat lodge next weekend. So, we're not giving up. The moon is still right. And by the way, if you guys want to know what the website address, it is thesierrasanctuary.com. Okay. So this is the landing page. Alex is from Sotheby's, great guy, very experienced, local skier, outdoorsman, um, good friend in helping us. Yeah. So, Alex, where should I take him?
Well, I mean, really, the that website will kind of give you the full background on the property if you haven't already given everybody all the information. And it sounds like most people already know it and have visited and know the property well. So, really, it just kind of spells out the offering. And Greg, I don't know. We still haven't gotten word back from Northern Nevada MLS if we can do two listings, one without a lot. So that's the only thing I think that you won't find on that website right now.
Okay, let me describe that then. So the primary offering is all 40 acres. The featured house is the one that's built and developed as the cabin. That's 20102. The listing price is 3.3 million, but it also includes these other four properties. So let's just kind of go through the listing with the home first, and then we'll kind of go through some of go through the raw lots. So this is the living room, beautiful, very spacious. There's an upstairs. This is where I'm at right now. This is my office. And then there's a little temple space up here. There's a master bedroom, fireplace. Beautiful, beautiful place. Those of you that have been here, you know it. Um, that's a view from the fireplace. This is a view from the kitchen. It's a really cool kitchen because you can serve, you can cook and prepare and kind of entertain while the table's there. People could be sitting there having a cocktail, having some hors d'oeuvres, and you're cooking. Big island, all the modern amenities from a kitchen. This is one of the offices. This is a spare room slash office. So there's three bedrooms. This is the downstairs bathroom. This is another view of the office. View from the living room. View from the back porch. Downstairs family room area. We have a whole downstairs suite that's like a 1,200 square foot. It's got a bathroom right here, got a power room right here, living room right here, and then a bedroom right here, which is a nice little, oh, there's the bathroom.
Nice, kind of offers that multi-generational option to have in-laws live with you or kids, whatever it may be.
Yeah, the whole downstairs is actually something I was thinking about renting out. And so if anyone wants to, stay here for a couple months while we're selling, the whole downstairs is available. It's standalone. So it's got the nice bedroom, two private entrances, one here, one in the family room, private bathroom. And now we're upstairs. We're on the third floor. This is my master bedroom. This is the third floor of the cabin. There's a view from the top, master bathroom, big sunken tub. I love that thing. Love the rock work they did. There's the view from my office. There's the temple meditation space up top. There's the creek. Now we're kind of moving on to the property. So now we've moved from my cabin to the creek property, which is 6.24 acres. It has a creek that runs all the way through it. This is our little cold plunge. The creek never stops running. It's a perennial creek. This is a sky view. So this is like the Mount Rose Ski Resort. This is Mount Rose Highway, and the cabin is right over here. So you can drop in, you can drive up to the ski resort, you can ski down the hill, and you can drop into the cabin and come back and then do it again. This is an aerial view of the cabin. You can see the cabin right there. You can see where some of the wood was burnt here on the from the fire, but a lot of it survived. Most of it's going to survive. The only part that's really burnt is right here on this one hillside. There's the
That was
road
the
now.
part that we looked at the other day, Greg. The
What's
part,
that?
that was the part we looked at the other day.
Yeah, we went up here where all those the black trees were. That's where we walked with the foresters.
Yeah, that was the area we were talking about clearing completely, right?
Exactly.
And then right in the center, if you move your cursor to the left a little bit more, stop right there. Is that the edge? Is that the steep slope that we were at? Right?
Exactly. This ridge right here falls off and goes very steep down to the creek. The creek forms a valley. So this is the creek that's in the middle here. So it goes downhill and uphill here. So this is all the valley following the creek line. And this is the road, Mount Hibbett Trail. This is the road coming up.
Yeah.
You come past the cabin, you go off the road, and then here's that big turnaround, which you can't see because it's covered.
And I didn't get to see the whole thing, but was that area on that, and it's shaded right there right now, but that area that's on that slope, was that pretty much entirely burned or did
No,
I? No,
just the ground.
just the ground.
Just the
Okay.
ground. Yeah, those 80% of those trees are going to survive. 80 and
Oh, okay.
90% of the trees are going to survive.
Okay. Gotcha.
But this is
Thanks.
the first 6 acre lot. This is this 5.9 to be exact, 5.9 acre lot right here to the right. You drive in, there's a little driveway. There is a pad built right here, one big pad here and another big pad up here. And this one has a well. So this one is ready, pretty much ready to build that first lot. This is another view of the road following it.
And that's maybe a good time to mention that's the one that for 2.5 million is the house plus two lots minus that one 5.99 acre lot.
That's right. The other way, there's two ways I'm willing to part with the property. One, sell all 40 acres for 3.3. The other is to sell 3 of the 4 acres. So if I were to keep one of the lots, it would be this lot. It would be the 5.9 acre lot with the well. Sell the other 3 lots, including the cabin, for 2.5 million. And so if you want to go over any of those questions, that's one of the reasons we want to do this. We wanted to give you to meet Alex and Troy, my two, partners. And if you want to set up a call, we're going to hook you up with Alex and you can, learn more about this. So that's the house and the cabin. Alex, any last comments you want to say? Because I know you want to get back to
No, that's great. I mean, it's nice to meet everybody. And if you have any questions, please reach out and I'll do my best to not be at a track meet so I can talk to you.
I'm going to put up a QR code that you can screenshot, which you can get a hold of Alex. He'll take you to the website, or you can just remember this simple website, thesierrasanctuary.com. Thesierrasanctuary.com. You can get his phone number there and meet him there.
Yeah,
All right.
We're
Thanks, Alex.
easy to reach.
And Tom is your backup. So he's got a partner, Tom, who's also available to show
Yeah.
the property or answer questions.
Let us know what you need.
Thanks, Alex. All right, we're going to move on to the build option. And this is the option that Troy and I have been working on. It's very exciting. We're going to be going over what we call the pitch deck, which is a kind of a abbreviated version of the opportunity as an investor, what you would be getting your. All right. So the reason I still totally love this property beyond words is that in a beautiful time of health and safety, it's an amazing retreat for healing and an off-grid place that I live on a retreat every day. It's like being on a resort. But when you look at the world right now and you've got world calamities with whatever it's fire or whether it's war or whether it's finances, it's like if the shit hits the fan, the reason I built this property off grid is so I would have a safe haven. And really what I want to do is no one wants to be on a safe haven by themselves. And that's why it's weird right now because I'm up here by myself. And so what I really want to do is if I'm going to build this, I want to build it with a team. And so what that would look like is building a off-grid boutique eco retreat center with short-term rentals. STR stands for short-term rentals. So the idea is I would contribute 3 of the 4 lots, 29 acres. I would keep the lot with the cabin. Instead of keeping the well lot, which is this one here up on the top right, I would keep the 10-acre lot with the cabin on it and live on it and be the on-site general manager. So I'm going to donate about $2 million worth of land and about $100,000 worth of timber. And what I'm looking for is partners that can meet me, invest, and cover the development costs, which is 1.95 as well. So the total project is about $4 million, just round it up. Now, the 4 pillars of Sierra Sanctuary have always been healing the nature, healing the forest, being a regenerative forester, regenerative health, doing wellness and health, and doing events. But it all leads, those 3 things lead to the big cash cow, which is the retreat rentals. So by building rentals, this would basically become the office. I would live here, I would be on-site manager, I would kind of have a head office, but we would be building cabins that could rent to other people. So what does that look like? Well, it would be 4, I'll show you pictures in a second, but we're going to build 4 A-frame luxury cabins. They are officially called DADs, detached auxiliary dwellings. And one of the cool things is if we keep this simple and we don't have to change a lot of permits or get special zoning or anything like that, we can just use standard general rural permits, which is by right. We don't have to get any special. We could just follow the current parameters and we could build a DAD on the bottom right. You can see we have an A-frame. DAD number 1, that's one of our first cabins. And then on that same plot, we would build a big dome, a 42-foot event space dome. So we would be able to rent that for Airbnb, but also more valuable for big events, weddings, ceremonies, etc. The next lot over would be DAD number 2, which would be by the well. And we would have the cabin there. We'd have the sweat lodge and a little teepee for camping. So this is going to be kind of the Native American village. You keep going around the corner and you get to the current parking lot where a lot of us park our stuff. We always park down there where the equipment is. That's where we're going to build DAD number 3. We're going to build another A-frame cabin, put in a well, and DAD 4, which would be on my lot, the 10-acre lot, I'm going to rent that little pad to the partnership, to the LLC, and we're going to build on my land. So I'll maintain the ownership of that 10 acres, but I'm going to lease long-term lease to the partnership so they can have the land there. And we'll do the same thing for the parking lot. We're going to build a parking lot on my 10 acres, and I'll rent that space to the partnership. And then what we're going to be doing this summer is while we are getting the permits and getting ready to build everything and getting the foundation, we're going to harvest a bunch of trees up here at the top of this page. You can see where the tents are, where the festival space used to be, where the turnaround is. That's where all the harvesting is going to be this summer. We're going to be harvesting the whole top 20-30% of this picture and turning that wood into both firewood that we can burn, but also, and we could sell and that we can use, but also timber that we can have milled. And then while it sits and cures this year, we can turn it into the cabins and to the structures that we need next year. So let me give you a vision of one of the things we want to do is make it super easy. So we found kits. We found these A-frame cabin kits. There's a big one that is almost 1,000 square feet, 968 square feet, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. And we're going to rent that for $500 a night. And then we're going to have a little medium-sized one, 1-bedroom, 1-bath. That will be 730 square foot. And then we're going to have one kit that's a dome. And we've talked to these vendors. We've got good relationships. We know how they can be built. And these kits make it really easy to pop up and finish the structure. That means we can have it done within a year or year and a half is the estimate that we have. And then we can start renting and making money. So let's move into the financial side real quick. We're not going to go into detail. I have Troy here. So if you have any questions, he's going to be happy to answer. But basically, the development costs are primarily into developing the land, the site, the cabins, the infrastructure, and then some budgets to operational. So as we open up the operational budget, okay, we're going to need to pay some taxes. We have some permits to do. The general manager, which is me, I need to get paid because this is going to be a full-time job. I'm going to be running it. We've got cleaning crews. So we've got a bunch of expenses on the left here, everything mapped out. But the bottom line is when I started looking at, having this filling up the rooms, right? How do you primarily you make money here is by having occupancy. So I started doing some market research. This one here on the left, Live Oak Lake, a guy bought what was it, 5 acres. He invested, what did he invest? He invested $138,000. He built 7 cabins, mini cabins, similar to the ones we're talking about. And for 2.1 million total, he achieved a gross revenue of 1 million his first year with a 94% occupancy. 18 months later, he sold the whole village, 7 cabins for $7 million. Now, I'm not sure I want to sell, but the revenue is good. Another one, Onera, they did tree houses. This guy from Texas bought 20 acres. He built 28 tree houses, very unique. You can see the picture here. It's kind of like hanging over the edge. And their first year, they had a 76% occupancy. So 94% for the first guys, 76% for the second guys. Again, making great cash flow, but then also raised a bunch of money. 5.2 million came in from investors that wanted to help him expand. So that's an option. We can expand this. We can do phase 1 with 5 units, and we can definitely expand for phase 2. And just to show you this other one, postcards, they have these postcard cabins. These unique properties don't not work. They always work. I'm talking to a guy who specializes in this field, and I asked him on a scale of 1 to 10, how probability is a success. He goes, in your location with this kind of a unique property that's off grid, people want eco retreats, 8 or 9 out of 10. So when I look at the market research and we see that there's nothing like this in this area, nothing at all. These are some pretty good numbers. So what you're looking at here is the revenue from the cabin rentals and the event space rentals, which is at the bottom. So the SDR rental total is 535 if we're conservative, meaning a 60% occupancy. Or if we go a little more aggressive at 72%, still not very aggressive, 72% would be a $642,000 gross year 1. And then another couple, 100,000, 150,000 from events. And now we have a nice, good cash flow. We have a nice projection. And if we can constantly get better and if we get more and more occupancy, get up to 85%, now we're getting to a significant $1 million plus, business. So where you have like a nice business that's constantly bringing in cash flow, low risk from my perspective. I think it's very low risk. But that's just based on the feedback that I've been getting, the research I've done. So we recommend everyone do your own research. This is not a formal guarantee of anything. This is a presentation of what my vision is and where we're going. And we'd love to talk to you in plant medicines and being able to do things that are not only focused on profit, where we can actually focus on purpose. By creating this ministry, it's a 508c1a. It gives us the ability to not only have freedom from tax advantages and things like that, but First Amendment freedom. So we can do ceremonies, medicine journeys, sweat lodges. We can, yes, we'll take advantage of some taxes, but we can also do donations and we can raise money and we can do special things for our first responders and our veterans. We can have charities and fundraisers, and people are donating. So this is really something special, having that church entity. The last part here is that when we build this, the real goal is to build something that can be a legacy and that can last for decades and hold on to it. So that's there is really primary exit strategy is to hold it and make it be a cash cow and keep growing it and maybe have satellites. But if we needed to, we could refinance in a few years. We could cash out, we could pull some money out, we could start expanding, or we could do a special use permit, which is option number 3, which would be spend another maybe $20,000 in easements and permitting, but then we could grow the plan. We could turn it into a special, it's called a resort destination. Our area is already pre-zoned for that. So you get that special use permit and you can build whatever you want, a restaurant, a ski lift. I mean, you could really make it into anything. And of course, there is always the option of selling. So that would be the option as one of the exit strategies as well. So to kind of wrap it up, we are looking for partners. We're looking for a win-win partnership. It's not something that I'm just looking for just flat out money. I want somebody who really wants to live up here with me. I want people who really want to at least come visit, at least couple of, weeks out of the year, come visit, come to the events, maybe lead some events. A lot of the people that want to do this are leaders and healers. So I'm looking for those people that are leaders and healers and maybe want to see something special like this happen. What we're going to do is basically connect you with Troy and myself. Will set up a call. Make sure you review all the material. We have on the website that you registered for tonight. After you register, there's a pitch deck. So make sure you review the pitch deck and then get on a call with us and let's walk the property. That's probably the coolest thing is walking the property and visualizing and dreaming a little bit.
Yeah, I think you did a really great job summarizing it. I'm glad you did the pitch instead of me because this is at the end of the day, this is your brainchild, your baby that you've been nurturing for quite a long time, and I'm just here to help guide on the financial side and construction side wherever I can. But what you touched on earlier is that there's nothing like this in the Tahoe region. Um, in the Tahoe Basin, around Tahoe, Truckee. There's no like Airbnb villages like this or retreat centers of this type. And so that's just a classic supply and demand curve equation, right? I mean, there's for sure demand. This is up in Tahoe and Reno and the surrounding areas, a very holistic community, lots of holistic community that want retreats, that want healing, sacred spaces. And then you obviously have the ski resort that's almost walking distance, and there's no hotels serving that. And there's hotels down in Reno, but there's no hotels right next to the ski resort. So the 24/7, 365 Airbnb offering that's going to give you hospitality offerings in the summer and in the winter is, it's again this the supply and demand. So you got high demand, low supply, which gives you, a more risk averse project.
And there's this other trend that's happening right now. I know, I think we've talked about it before. Gary Vee, he's a social media expert. He's talking about like um, unplugging is one of the biggest trends for 2026. People really are tired of being tethered to their computers and their screens, and they're going to start paying extra good to go to a restaurant where they take your phone at the door. And you'll pay extra to unplug. So to come up to nature like this and unplug for whether it's a day or a weekend or whatever, it's pretty part of the listing. I'm listing not only the land, but also this
So
equipment
living
stack.
up the mountains, this is a workhorse. It's a super valuable piece of equipment. It's a Bobcat S650. It's a high flow. It's got brand new tires. Got chains. You're going to need those in the wintertime. Got the hydraulic high flow. Got a fully enclosed cage with the heater. It's nice. Lights in the front, lights in the back. This is also a super important piece of equipment. It's a professional 7-foot snow blower with an auger, fully remote control Bobcat, only a couple years old. Great piece of equipment. And that's our whole equipment stack. Bobcat, blower, attachments, snowplow, and a couple of wood chippers. And
make sure we get a lot of fun in there. So here's the screenshot. Take a picture of this. This is the QR code. How can you participate? Well, if you're interested in investing, send me a private message and you and Troy will get on a call and we'll talk about it. We'll walk the property and see if it's a good fit. If you're interested in buying the property and taking over and carrying the torch, grab this QR code or go to thesierrasanctuary.com. Contact Alex, ask whatever questions you have, schedule a viewing, and we'll go from there. And then the other thing is, if it's not for you, maybe there's somebody who you think should have seen this. Please, I'll post the video recording as soon as possible. Forward the recording to them, or just make an introduction and connect us. And the last thing, if you're not already, join our Sierra Sanctuary support page. We have a volunteer Facebook group where we talk about events. So whenever there's a new event, like the Sweat Lodge is coming back to life, or we got a ceremony or something like that, make sure you're in there. It's called Sierra Sanctuary Support. I will put that link in the chat right now for those of you that are online.
Hey, Greg,
And-
what's the timing for investment?
Oh, Good question. It's now. It's like basically the way I'm feeling into this, Troy, is I'm surrendering it up to spirit. And God is going to answer the question, what they want me to do. Do they want me to sell? If so, the right buyer is going to make an offer. If they want me to build, then the right partners are going to make me the right offer. So it's kind of like whatever happens first and whatever feels like hell yes. Um, my guess is it's going to happen within the next couple months. And if it's meant to be, it's going to happen in the next couple months.
All
And
right.
and there's a lot of people that I have, as you know, significant conversations underway with. So I'm more likely that it's going to be one of those people. Maybe someone new will see this and it's like, oh my gosh, Greg, I've been looking for this. But my guess is it's going to be some of the people that we've already been in conversation with. All right.
We will
So
see.
that's, yeah, you never know. I mean, I'm just surrendering it. I'm just throwing it out to spirit. But something that's kind of cool is either way, I'm excited. For 20 years, I've had this little car here, this little picture of me doing a fifth wheel road trip. I wanted to do this when I first wrote my first book, Stoked. So now it's only, what, 15 years later, I'm going to do it finally. But either way, I want to have a bug out. I want to have a fifth wheel. So I'm excited either way. So thank you everyone for all your support and prayers. I know that some of you have been there for me when I really needed it. And those of you, whoever takes this vision, it's all about community. It's so much about community. And guess what? There's a built-in community. You've got 1,500 people that have come up to this property that will love it, and we'll do this together. Maybe it'll be us doing it together. Maybe it's you doing it on your own. But either way, I'm always going to be on your team. All right, you guys. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate you, and I'll talk to you soon. I'll see you
Thanks,
tonight,
Greg.
John.
Yeah, thank you, Greg. We'll see you tonight. Bye now.
Bye.